go! Let's go! Hey everybody, you're watching Hypocritic GG, streaming exclusively on Twitch and YouTube. I'm Lou, I'm Cheatspeak, and as promised, we've got some goodies for you tonight, and that includes a game I've been trying to sink my teeth into for quite some time, and now I finally have time to do so. It is the remake of Mario vs. Donkey Kong here on Switch. Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in. We got people trickling in already, and that is great to see. Fort and Eric are here, all gangs together. This is great. 2004 was 20 years ago, and I already wanna take the bridge. Thanks. We made it. Not even 3 minutes we've been up, and we're already. Thank you. Bananas ahoy with Eric. How we all doing? I'm really excited to get into this. If you were a fan of Nintendo in 2004, you are eating damn good this year. Remakes Galore is the title of tonight's stream. Kicking off, Super Mario RPG already exists out there in the remake, right? That happened already. We've got Mario vs. Donkey Kong, a beloved Game Boy Advance classic, back before our very eyeballs. And later this year, and probably sooner rather than later, we've got Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door getting a fresh coat of paint for your very eyeballs on the Switch, and with a whole bunch of stuff on the horizon, including a brand new Pokemon Legends game that is probably simultaneously launching on the Switch and whatever the Switch's successor is. If it's not called the Super Nintendo Switch, we riot. It's a good time. We're eating good, folks. So let's get on in here and play Mario vs. Donkey Kong. If you're not familiar, which I have to assume you are if you've stumbled upon us, doesn't matter. It was a beloved game on the Game Boy Advance, based on an even older Game Boy title called Donkey Kong, which took the conceit of the original 1981 arcade game and stretched it out into a nearly 100-level romp that included, you know, backflips and item pickups and all these really fun mechanics to build puzzle-style levels that you traverse through. So Mario vs. Donkey Kong on the GBA is an extension of that idea of, I don't know when the DK game came out on Game Boy, early 90s, maybe. Mario vs. Donkey Kong vs. Alien vs. Predator is what we want to see. 94. Okay, I was being generous, but there you go. So 10 years after that, we get Mario vs. Donkey Kong, and 20 years after that, we get it remade for the Switch, and I'm excited about it. Months before Donkey Kong Country. How's that for perspective? Weird that those all... That was the year of Donkey Kong, I guess. That's crazy. Okay, let's get into it, folks. So we have two play styles, it looks like. We don't want a more relaxed game. We're old pros here. I'm 31. I played this when I was a youth. I know how this goes. Let's challenge ourselves and get right into it. So what I'm excited about... I played the demo. But before we do, let's look at the beautifully redone cutscenes here, which take the like single, you know, frame of rendered animation and just bring them to life phenomenally well from what I saw in the demo. I mean, look at this. Are these not... I'm trying to find the volume control on my headphones here. There we go. Now, are these not some of the most gorgeously rendered cutscenes we've seen in a Mario game in a while? Look at that. There's even, like, mouth animation for full dialogue for Mario? This is insane. You may remember Mario vs. Donkey Kong as one that really pushed dialogue for Mario. Full sentences. All these fun things. So we know how this works, but if you're not familiar, you know, this is all puzzle-based gameplay. So we're walking through stages here, trying to find, you know, specific level objectives, like these little presents that we're going after, which I'm going to grab separately here. Just like this. 3 presents per stage, a key, which I'm being dumb about. And in we go. And you're going to see this flesh out, obviously, throughout each stage here. The UI looks very Mario 3D World, doesn't it? We know. We're just going to blaze through this because we know what's happening here. We know the drill. Boom, just like that. Get him. We're gonna cruise through these. Tidbits from Eric. The original GBA entry is the only game, potentially, that has Grant Kirkhope's Donkey Kong and Charles Martinet's Mario in the same game. How about that? I didn't even know that. So there's good tidbits for you. Is this still Charles? Eric says yes. So I do know that there are a lot of reused voice clips from the original Mario vs. Donkey Kong, obviously uncompressed. So I don't know if he recorded new lines for it. Kinda sounds like maybe the answer is yes. Hammer time. Of course. And you can let go of the hammer. And you could bring it, you know, down separate levels with you if you're so inclined. It's a whole, like, string of gameplay. Imagine that. But we'd love to see it. How are we all doing out there? Staying safe, staying well, I hope. We're living our best lives out here, of course. Back from a very busy few days myself. Because your boy, and we'll get into this, destroy everyone in sight. That's the sailor's way. We're gonna just cruise through these early levels as quick as we can. The smooth animations, nice and smooth. We can give you that much. But yeah, we'll get into how I'm doing here. My understanding is the extra sounds are from Odyssey and 3D World. That would make a lot of sense. I'm gonna look it up really briefly here. Mario vs. DK Switch voice actor. He is credited as Mario. It reuses Charles Martinet's Mario voice. And yes, it seems that they did just pull clips from other games. So there's no fresh... Or is there? Because there's dialogue in the cutscenes, right? There's a lot of dialogue, unless they reuse it all. See, now I'm curious. We can go to the Mario Wiki to get some information here. Take a look. Yes, although, so here's what it says on the Mario Wiki. Although Charles Martinet retired from voicing Mario since Super Mario Bros. Wonder, archival voice clips of his work as Mario appear to be repurposed here, even some voice clips returning from the original game in an uncompressed format. So no new dialogue from Martinet. No new sounds, but all him. Which I think is great. Kind of preserves the feel of that original title. Which I think there's a lot of value in. Obviously, we're not 100% there because we're... you can hear that they completely redid and orchestrated the soundtrack. Which I'm very curious to hear more of. But yeah, you're right. Contrarily, Donkey Kong uses voice clips from his current actor, Takashi Nagasako, sorry. Instead of reusing Grant Kirkhope's clips from Donkey Kong 64, like they did in Mario vs. Donkey Kong. So Eric certainly knows his stuff, but we knew that. Speed. We're gonna go through this with speed. Give me that. Give me that. We can grab them all, and we can do our little handstandy here, and there we go. There's handstands. You want to do handstands and flippy doos? We got you covered. Alrighty, how goes the New York life? Yeah. So, like I was saying, your boy is pretty tired. Was just out in Vegas this past weekend because your boy ran his first ever half marathon and finished it. I was gonna post up some pictures in the Discord, which if you're not in there, you should be. !Discord will get you all that fun stuff. That's gonna be a Discord exclusive post. How about that? But yeah, first half marathon done in Las Vegas. Sarah, my girlfriend, Miss Nephroptosis, and I ran it together. She's a very accomplished track and field runner. So obviously she, had no issues with it. But, your boy over here with my creaky legs and such, and strange duck-footed body. Needed some help. So she was training me for it since... Or she was helping me train since December. Late December I started training, so... That was 2 full months. And I'd run races previous to that. Kind of, 5Ks and the like. And I was capable of running, kind of 7-8 miles at a clip, but nothing, obviously, to that degree. So it was a real challenge and test of ability. Frankly, really wasn't sure I was going to be able to do it. I had done 11 miles about the week prior, and that was incredibly daunting. But, yeah, as it turns out, across the country is only 13 miles. It was quite the run. But no, it was a ton of fun, and I'll put some pictures up because it was part of what's called the Rock and Roll Running Series, which is a series of runs, if you can imagine that, with a heavy emphasis on sort of like live entertainment and a big like kind of powerhouse rockin' atmosphere and a party vibe that there's a lot of throughout the country. There's a handful of races in different parts of the East Coast, the West Coast, and internationally. So this was the first one I had done. Kind of caught the bug because Sarah ran one last year in DC that seemed, we obviously went to support her, and it seemed like just a ton of fun. And obviously, I saw that and I was like, oh, I want to get in on this. Let's see if we can target this for next year. So we did, and that was it. It was an incredible time. Just proud to have finished, frankly. It was not a very impressive time. It was not, I'm not setting any trails ablaze or anything like that. But just the fact that it's accomplished at all was an incredible feeling. And hats off to her, for being patient with my training process and helping me through, making sure I was approaching everything in the right way. And it's just, it's not easy. I can tell you that now from experience. Some really daunting stuff. Thank you, Fort. Yeah, it was super cool. So I'll put some stuff up in the Discord. What was really great about it was they closed the entire strip down in Las Vegas for the runners to go through for, a multi-hour period. So you started pretty south on the strip. I don't know if you've ever been, but you started basically at New York, and MGM Grand, which is, in the southern half of the strip. You run all the way down past the Welcome to Las Vegas sign south. You circle around, run the entire length of the strip back to almost Fremont Street, kind of up in shifty, shady North Vegas, almost to Fremont Street. And then back down to Bellagio, where you finish right in front of the fountains, which was, again, just really, really, really cool. And an incredible experience. So, again, I'll put some pictures up of some of the activity that we did and some of the, photos and videos we took along the way to document it a little bit. We didn't go full vlogger status on it, but he kicked it with his face, I think. I should have hit that switch. What is this thing doing, is my question. Just shaking there, shimmering, breaking all the... shoving all the bricks about. And he's literally shitting bricks, is what I'm trying to get at and say nicely, but there's no nice way to say that. Yeah, it was very cool. Don't ask me to run another one for a long while. We're on timeout for a hot second. But it was super cool. And any excuse to get out to Vegas, honestly, is what I'm going to take, because it is always a good time out there. So we are cruising through this and doing quite well, if I do say so myself. If you want to play around with us a little bit while you're here, if you're watching on Twitch, you can redeem your channel points down below as you watch to make us do anything from take a drink of a drink that I don't have here, but I will get to dabbing to changing my damn shirt and everything in between. Exclamation point and then a color in the chat, which should work on both platforms, will change the color of the lights behind me. You have like 50 or 60 different colors to choose from. Take your pick. See if your favorites are out there. And now we're getting into the mini Mario stage. Gotta get all of our little minis over to the toy box successfully so that we can fight the boss properly. The orchestrated music is really, really interesting. The original game had such a distinct flair to its soundtrack, and I was really curious to see how they would preserve the feel of that while obviously going full soup to nuts remake on this, and it's interesting. The vibe is still very much there for the most part, which I think is very cool. Now we go do a fight, and I think this is where the demo stopped. Or somewhere around there. You get 3 or 4 levels. You might have the boss fight. Maybe not. I remember the bosses actually getting pretty intense in the GBA version. So we'll see if they end up a little more tame here. You really innocently bonk him with your trash cans. And I just think that's kind of funny. There you go. Hardy har har. See ya, big monkey. Hey, come back here. You a big monkey? Is he gonna say it? You better say it.
Oh, yeah.
You better say it.
Oh, yeah.
Wowee. Listen to that synth go. Also, I don't know if I told you, Fort, we were over in your neck of the woods out on the West Coast, so not only was I in Vegas last weekend, but the week before, I was out in LA for a few days. So we really had some West Coast action going on out there. And that was fun. So it's been a travel-heavy few weeks, and now I'm looking forward to March being much more sedate until PAX. I think PAX is the only major thing that I have on the calendar for the next few weeks, which is really good. Because there's a lot of life coming up in the next few months that I'm going to need money and time for. Not to get into too many of the details yet, but I think most of you know that, we're currently based in New York City, but Sarah and I are planning to move out of the city and across the river in late spring, so hopefully around the May time frame. So that costs money. There's, I think, some stuff going on in April or May that we're gonna need some focus on. So I'm happy to have a quiet, few weeks ahead. It is well deserved and much needed and all that fun stuff. So this will be good. Two-handed climb, like I didn't know how to do that. You underestimate my power. You very much underestimate my power. So yeah, lots going on, but I'm happy to have a break and a little bit of time to myself. The monitor's just so wobbly, and the webcam's on top of it, so anytime I bump the table, which is not the most stable table either, the monitor jiggles. I gotta just anchor everything down, don't I? That picture Sari posted on Disco was nice. You don't look like you've aged a day. Are you being sarcastic? I can smell the sarcasm. So young and full of life. We were. What happened? It's true. The world has a way of wearing you down, huh? I forgot about the backflip. Everyone loves the back. Listen to that music. Okay, so where are we here? Riding on a rhino. Just normal Mario things. I was not trying to be sarcastic. I was trying to be funny with that comment and find some differences, but nah, you're all the same. I gotcha. You know, I'd like to think that I'm aging pretty gracefully. You know, I am starting to gray a little bit on my temples, but it just makes it's a more distinguished look. That's all it really is. And I'm here for it anyway. You ever just pick up a rhino and send him to extinction? That's exactly how that works.
Oh, yeah.
Alrighty, how we doing here? Good. You're getting the Omni-Man look. That's the plan. That is exactly the intent down to the letter. How did you know? How did you know? Okay, loving the kind of like end of level menu kind of groove it has going. Sounds great. This is super solid so far.
Here we go. Yup. Woohoo.
I will say, you know, we were talking about, or I was starting to talk about how the specific feel of the soundtrack, I was really curious about how it was going to carry over with the orchestral, you know, decision here. And it does lose a certain piece of that energy that it had, because it was a very kind of unique and energetic soundtrack. Kind of different from... Oh, misjudged. The energy is a little different, is what I'm getting at. And... you know, I remember that soundtrack being pretty unique to the feel of Mario games at that point in time. So that was very cool. And, you know, the orchestral tracks sound great. You know, no complaints here yet. Oh god, the bird! The bird! No! So I'm just curious how that feel is gonna, you know, continue to carry over. I hadn't really listened to much of the soundtrack ahead of time, besides, you know, what was in the demo. And, you know, consensus on the internet seemed to be that it had lost a little bit of the luster that didn't fully carry over. What am I doing? Okay, this has just all of a sudden become my kryptonite. And now I've set myself up for failure. There is no Mini Mario, only Zool. That's the rule. It's the Zool rule, don't you know? I should grow out the mustache. You know, I think Sarah and I had talked about me growing the mustache out not too long ago. I didn't want to do just the mustache. Like, I kind of like having the beard. I like having the whole scruff situation going on. Which you can see, kind of, right? That was it. You can see my beard from here, yeah? But, I don't know. The strictly the mustache itself, I'm not a fan of that look on me, is the thing. Pair controller for 2-player mode. You can do co-op in this, and maybe we will one of these days. I do want to get Sarah on the stream some more to do more co-op stuff, or just kind of hang out and have fun, because that's something we all like to do together. And I know y'all like having her on. I hope you like having her on. I gotta get the key through. And quickly. Okay. We got some fun announcements to remind you of too, as the stream goes on here. So let me finish this stage, and then we'll give you a little bit of a reminder and a heads up on what's coming. If you're interested, and I know you're interested, you don't gotta lie to me about it. Oh, I could bait him out. Even if I said no, it wouldn't change anything. That would be awkward if there was an entire stream rebelling over there. Just like, no more, get her out of here. But no, I'm glad it's a. Jeez, I'm glad her presence is appreciated. Let me go. The occasional occurrence, you know. Let's switch up the order here a little bit. Let's go over here. Now we're gonna go for the yellow switch. Rhino, go home. Back to the Pride Lands with you. Do this the weird way. Now go get the mini. And we're all good. Alrighty. So let's keep going here. Quick programming note before we continue. So we have, and what we're starting to do now is keeping our stream schedule posted regularly on the Discord. So again, if you're not in there, !Discord will do it for you. And please do join us, as it is the best place to keep up with us now that social media is frustrating. And we still haven't fully, I mean, we're on the Facebook now, but it, you know, pretty limited reach on there. So, you know, we do the best we can. So if you're not in there, or if you are, there is that new stream schedule channel where we pin and make little graphics for the content that's coming up. So to remind you, we have 2 streams after this coming up in the next few days. So you're getting a double header this week, and then we have another one next week, as is the usual. Threads page went. Fun fact: we got banned from Threads immediately because we created the brand page, and Facebook or Meta, you know, thought it was spam and thought it was not a legitimate outlet, even though I provided all the evidence of, you know, this is a brand account run by me, and here's proof. They refused the proof and perma-banned the Hypocritic GG account before we ever really got it created. So, tried Threads and it hasn't worked yet. We're also currently shadow banned on TikTok for some reason. You know, we had talked about posting some of that stuff, and I got a couple of videos up before, but I suddenly found us unable to upload a couple of weeks ago because, for whatever reason, TikTok decided that we had violated their community guidelines too many times. This was super fun for us because I'd never gotten any notification from TikTok about any community guideline violations. No notifications, no warnings, nothing like that. So the account just kind of got banned or shadow banned. Like, technically it's still there, but we can't post to it. I've been trying to post for a couple of weeks now and nothing's working. So that's always fun. So I don't know what we're going to do with that. You know, I wanted a more legitimate TikTok ahead of something like PAX East, but we'll see. I have to remake that account again. So it's not going well, is what I'm saying. So right now, Facebook is kind of the hub for it, and again, with its reach kind of limited as it is, there's only so much we can do at the current moment. So we'll keep figuring that out. Why not Sonic Band? These are the mysteries of life. This is the universe we don't understand. That's the problem here.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll figure that out. I don't remember where I was going with this. The schedule, right. So, like I was saying before, we have a streaming schedule channel dedicated to exactly that on the Discord, which is probably the best place to get that information at this point, aside from just following us on Twitch or YouTube here. So as a reminder, we are getting a doubleheader this week, and then we come back next week with more stuff, and then we'll reveal more schedule from there. So Saturday, March 2nd at a still to be determined time is going to be Halo Infinite multiplayer night. So dig out your PCs, get the Xboxes fired up. We're doing multiplayer and we're doing firefight all up in Halo Infinite all night long. Now that the half marathon's over, I can drink alcohol again. So I'd sort of enforced a mostly dry February on myself prior to that.
Here we go.
So that's going to be super fun. Fort, that means you. If you're around, definitely want to get the crew going for that. That'll be a lot of fun. Did I miss a switch? Did. I love the little symbol stuff going on there. Look at that animation of him just hanging on the rope and looking out and around. So I remember that being a lot more kind of triumphant and present in the original soundtrack. Kind of a bummer that it's not here. So these are the kind of minute nitpicks we're going to have as we go through here. Infinite does have... Did you not know this? I thought we talked about this, and we were streaming it, I think, with Full Metal one of these nights. But yeah, there's... That was close. There's full-on firefight now. With different levels of it, like normal, heroic, legendary, the whole deal. So it's really robust. I highly recommend getting your butt in there and playing some if you're so inclined. Yeah, it's actually super fun. It's probably the best mode and the best kind of, you know, content in general that Infinite has to offer at the moment. I'm all on board. Oh god. Nice. I need the switch. Keep me. So yeah, come on down for that. That's gonna be Saturday, March 2nd. At, again, an undisclosed time, which we'll post everywhere once I kind of figure out what the weekend's looking like. Why did I do that?
Mamma mia.
I tried getting back into Infinite recently, and it's still kind of the same as before, so I got burned out, but I do like firefights, so I'll give it a chance. Yes, that's all we ask of you. I did none of this in the right order. If I can make it, I'm down to firefight. Very good. Okay. So that's coming at a TBD time, and... Why am I doing none of this right? Let me see. I need this for that present down there. And then I need the red one for the yellow present. Look at him go. Sprightly boy. Hello, hello. It's a motherfucking pleasure. Xerox is here, everybody. Come on in. Welcome in. No. Jeez. But yes, that's our plan for the weekend. At TBD time, we'll try to be, you know, West Coast friendly about it and such. I just gotta drop there. Start bumping up against the time limit if I'm not careful. This is a song lyric. I figured. I just couldn't place where it was. There we go. We're out of here. All right. So, as a reminder, we said, Halo Infinite is Saturday. I was kind of waiting until the gameplay was over to flash the graphics again, but you probably know we're on the Wii U farewell tour here on Hypocritic GG. Every other Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern, we bring you a Wii U game and one last look at a title on the Wii U that has some multiplayer or online component going away when the online service is shut down in a little over a month. As has been announced, the next one we're looking at is Call of Duty Black Ops 2. One of the few full-fledged Call of Duty experiences on the platform, and a great kind of throwback to a simpler, more kind of traditional era of shooter from now multiple generations ago, if you want to feel old and throw up a little bit. So that is a week today, Tuesday, March 5th at 9 p.m. Eastern. That'll be Remembering Call of Duty Black Ops 2. The next stop on the Wii U farewell tour, and then at that point we will announce what is next. So keep your eyes peeled to the Discord and to here for all the latest on what's coming next. So that's your schedule, folks. And we're going to continue on with a little bit of the Mario vs. Donkey Kong. So like I was saying before, I was just really itching to get my hands on this, given how much I obsessed over Mario vs. Donkey Kong on the GBA back in the day. And it is just really, really refreshing to have the game available. It was a ton of fun based on just the pure solidity of the mechanics and the puzzle gameplay all those years ago. And so far, despite, it obviously looking and sounding a fair bit different, so crisp. I got you, Eric. It's every bit the experience I wanted out of it so far. This is great. And I think, a little bit less than a full price release as well. It's $49.99 or thereabouts, which is really nice and keeps it accessible. Remember when games were $50 new? Those were the days. Legend of Zelda, tears of my wallet, more like $70. Boss fight time. How dare you? I'm gonna say, can I speed run this? You do thankfully get as much health for the boss fight as you have mini Marios that you rescue out of those stages, which is a great incentive. To do well in those stages. And your boy is angry about it. I don't blame him. I gotta say, the music is a lot more sedate than I was hoping with the whole kind of orchestral element. There you go. Not that it's bad, but it is different. And in some cases, when you're so latched onto the feeling of those old games, different's not always good. This is always the back and forth that you have with remakes, right? Or remasters or whatever the case is. How do you preserve the integrity of the original experience while still modernizing it or needing to address long-standing issues that people have with the game or objective problems that it has? What do you do? And how do you strike that balance such that, newcomers and hardcore fans who remember it are satisfied? There's a lot of different ways it goes. You have very faithful remakes and remasters, and you have ones that really mess with core aspects of the experience and not to its advantage.
Here we go. Yup. Woohoo.
I would argue, so far this is pretty faithful. What I need to do, once the platforms come by, throw the key up here, or just do this, and hop it across. what does this all look like from Mario's point of view? You know, it reminds me of... Remember in Super Paper Mario, the mechanic was that Mario could turn 2D levels 3D and you could kind of see his perspective. I really wonder what these stages look like for him. You can say the same of most kind of 2D Mario levels and just how bonkers that perspective kind of has to be. But it makes one think. Doesn't it? Oh, expert moves here, folks. Look at that. Now we're going to be super bold here. Boom. It's like I've played this before. How about that?
Oh, yeah.
All good stuff. Okay, we are just cruising through here. We're gonna go for probably a solid 2 hours tonight, just to see how much this we can kind of tear through. And you can, it looks like, do them in any order. Was that something you could do in the GBA release? Play through in any order? Did you have to go through them all in sequence first? This is something I don't recall. I'm gonna bump the... Don't crap on me. Birdie, please. Can I jump this? Can. Tight squeeze. So we were talking about this a little bit, chat, but what are your memories of Mario vs. Donkey Kong, if any? Have you played the game on GBA all those years ago? Do you go back to the original Donkey Kong release in '94? As Eric pointed out, on the Game Boy, where this, you know, kind of puzzle gameplay was pioneered as far as Mario was concerned. What's your history here? I don't go back that far with it, but I do, as I was, you know, I've been saying throughout, have incredibly fond memories of the GBA release, and played the hell out of it. Still have it, honestly. It's one of the few Game Boy Advance games that has floated around with me, you know, throughout the years, and that I've kept close by. And hasn't gone into, like, storage or at, like, my mom's house, where I keep a lot of things that I'm not using. Like, I had to go dig up the Wii U, right? So that's kind of fun. Fort Shadow has never played any of these games. Wow, are you thinking about it? What I'd recommend is give that demo a whirl if you're interested. And it's great that they have it, you know, so you can see for yourself if it's the kind of thing that you would want to get your hands on.
Here we go.
Now, obviously, I'm a little biased, since I did have a lot of fond memories of this game when I was younger, and I mean, I think the central conceit still holds up, honestly. It plays really well. You know, puzzle games like this translate pretty easily and don't age maybe as poorly as others. Like, you could go back to Mario vs. Donkey Kong on the GBA today and still play it without issue. I think a lot of platformers benefit in that regard. And that release was really cool because it did sort of the Donkey Kong Country thing where it had 3D renders that were then kind of drawn into the game as sprites. Just gonna deal with that right here. So it has an interesting art style that I think has held up over time, personally. You know, the resolution is something else, but it's cool. And, you know, I think if you're a fan of these types of games at all... Oh, jeez. Well, I mean, that technically solves that problem, right? It's worth a look. Trying to get around the... I can't do that anyway. Okay. Getting a little optimistic there. Do I want the red one anyway? No. I just got rid of the Pooty Boos. So we're good. Okay. I love it. I love it. This is great. It's a more chill stream, perhaps, so I can catch up on some of the other things I've been playing. What have you all been playing? Let's get into that a little bit, because I can tell you, I've been digging deep into Splatoon 3. I don't know why, but while I was in Vegas and we were just kind of hanging out, because it's been a lot of traveling, and Sarah and I have just been really tired. So we've been trying to take it slower and chill. So I dug a lot deeper into Splatoon 3 for whatever reason, and I realized that okay. Oh man, he is just cruising. I realized, that I wanted to put more time into the actual multiplayer instead of just like Salmon Run. And man, I forgot how much beef I had with Splatoon 3's trying to do this. It's gonna work. It's not. Okay. Splatoon 3's multiplayer is absolute bullshit. I gotta tell you right now. So it's not even from the angle of like a get good complain-a-thon, and I'm gonna bitch about it a bit. It is wild how incredibly imbalanced Splatoon 3's matchmaking is. Worse than the other two by far. And if you remember, Splatoon 1 and 2 are not, bastions of incredible, skill-based matchmaking prowess, right? I am the lowest tier in ranked, because I never really played ranked in Splatoon 3. I'm getting paired with people, mostly against me, who have full stacks of completely coordinated gear for every gear slot on every item, weapons that I just don't have access to, gear I don't have access to. Like, I barely have access to stuff with all 3 gear slots. It's insane. And that's at the absolute lowest rank. I'm playing people who are 7, 8 tiers above me. It's ludicrous and ridiculously broken. So I've persisted, and I've tried to, play through the pain anyway, because the only way to get better at that game is to, spend 80 million hours getting the best gear you can and getting competitive, which, a lot of live service games and multiplayer games have that issue anyway. Just the match. So Splatoon 3 has been on my radar a lot, is the point I'm making. Fort is currently in the middle of, 4 games. I just started on Resident Evil 4 on Professional for the first time. You talking the remake or the remaster or wherever we're at with that? I haven't touched Resident Evil 4 in a long, long time. I'm frankly not very big on Resident Evil. I know the series has been through kind of, some highs and lows, but I'm truly not familiar enough with the situation. It's a full remake, okay. I appreciate RE4 especially. That's probably the one I've spent the most time with. But again, just not really an RE kind of dude. I still need to do OG4 on Professional to get my last achievement. That sounds exhausting. I remember it because the GameCube release, the original one was my real exposure to it and where I kind of spent the most time. I never owned it, but friends did, so I would go over their house and be like, "Oh, hey, can I try Resident Evil 4? I don't have it." So that's what you do when you're kids. Achievement hunting is pretty exhausting. Yeah, if you're gonna, a lot of games are that way when you go full completionist on it or try to do those specific things. I really should charge this controller, shouldn't I? I'm due for my, like, quarterly charging of this, where it sits on, sits with a cable plugged in for, like, 30 minutes, and then I get 3 months of charge. Can I plug that in right now? I don't think I... Probably don't have a cord long enough for it anyway. Okay, let's keep going, though. I'll just go until it gives out. Let's really stretch how much this controller can do.
Here we go.
Oh, the lava. Look at that. Look at that lava, baby.
Yup. Woohoo. Yup. Woohoo.
It descends. Into madness. Does it come back up? I don't remember. Oh no! Oh! Very, very hot. I understand. I would feel that way too. Still need to get the last one for Plants vs. Zombies. Ooh, man. That's one I haven't thought about in a while. PVZ. Those were the days. Oh, I cannot pronounce your name. I'm so sorry. But, hello. Is that a single dot we have here? Viewer of few words. The mystique grows. We got some Mario vs. Donkey Kong for you. If you want to hang out. You gotta get away from the lava. We got pressing matters to attend to here. Look. Out we go. I'm thinking for it. I don't know when the last time I like legitimately achievement hunted in something was. You just sort of gather up whichever ones you can while you're playing. One that I would probably give some time to would be Penny's Big Breakaway, which, you know, we played on the channel last week and I've been experimenting with a bit. How do I get out of here? Ooh, dicey. Gotcha. So I think, yeah, most of them just come with, you know, as you play the game, you will uncover whatever you can. So that's Alan Wake 2, that's Penny's Big Breakaway, that's, you know, basically any new title that you're tearing through. It's an interesting thing where, you know, it was also maybe easier back in the day, you know, 360, early Xbox One, because I was still sort of young enough where I didn't have like a mountain of games at my disposal and I couldn't necessarily buy anything that I wanted at any given time. So you kind of have to dig a lot deeper into the games you already have. And so you end up kind of achievement hunting in that. But the attention span, and it's a common thing, you know, with a massive Steam backlog that you sort of naturally generate over time, and all these sorts of things, you just sort of end up... Oh no. Don't do it! Good. Everyone's safe. All the little guys are safe. I don't know, it's just, from my perspective, it's a little harder to do just because I don't spend time with those games like I used to. If there's something that I'm obviously incredibly invested in, I'm going to, you know, probably spend more time achievement hunting anyway, just because I'm playing the game over and over and over again. The Chivo getting big has just recently hit me. Big number go burr. What's your number? Give me your number, broski. I think mine on Xbox is... What is mine on Xbox? I gotta look. It's not like insanely substantial, but it's... It's enough. 80,000. Okay, yeah, well. I got some work to do, don't I? Am I even over like 20K? I gotta look. Now, see, now you got me curious. Oh, jeez. How close everything is kind of really makes you appreciate how the GBA game was sort of structured, right? Because this looks exactly like the, it would on the GBA screen, right? How it's all kind of clustered together. That's good stuff. All right, let me look up my gamer score quickly, if I can, under here. And we're 3 worlds down already. We are just cruising on through. Again, the benefit of having played this ad nauseum when I was young certainly helped. Do I know my Xbox password? I do. I am my own password. No, that's not true. But I'd like to. Okay, I have.
Oh, stop! Come back!
Come back! Where do I even see? It's my rewards. I don't want that. Achievements. 31,743 is my gamer score. Merry Miniland. Is this new?
Here we go!
I think this is all new. Look at this. We have new stages. We got new mechanics. I don't know what I'm doing now. How exhilarating. My word. So can I jump into... I'm going to take a leap of faith here. Yeah, it catches you. That's fun. So I can throw the key into it too, right? Yeah, there we go. Oh, look at that. How lovely. Fresh mechanics in my remake that fit perfectly alongside what we already have. I don't even try me, broski. Broski. We didn't have any redemptions on Twitch, did we? No. Down. Switch here. Don't get hit by the shy guy. Critical piece of this. Bye-bye. We just want him gone. What's going on here? Get out of the way. Cruise on up. We are good to go. Bye-bye. Lovely. I love it. Okay. Very nice.
Oh, yeah!
So, where are we? PAX is less than a month away. Can you believe it? We've been building up to this, you know, slowly throughout the past few weeks, just sort of getting our media badges squared away and figuring out logistics as we normally do. But we are prepping for the event big time. I'm very excited about it. So, as we get closer to the show, we will have a separate channel for PAX up in the Discord, which we typically do. So if you're not in there, that will be a great way for you to not only keep up with our coverage, but recommend stuff for us to do and partake in the action all weekend long as we bring you streams and interviews and all sorts of fun, ridiculous stuff from the show floor, as we're wont to do from time to time. That was close, but we got there. So we're very excited about that. PAX is interesting, especially East nowadays, given that those sort of big marquee publishers from years past, you know, your Microsofts, your Sonys, your Nintendos are not at the show at all anymore, which is unfortunate and kind of gives it a much different vibe than it used to have, if we're being honest about it. I see what we need to do. So bam. The music is very interesting in the background. Again, I don't know how much it kind of gels with that original vibe of the game, but it certainly fits the more low-key, kind of meandering feel of the orchestral pieces here. Anyway, East has kind of turned into more of almost like a big grand indie and kind of single A, double A showcase where you don't have a lot of those big marquee releases to look forward to anymore. The biggest, you know, attendee by name anymore is probably Pokemon. But that's always the play lab where you get to like try out the trading card game in very like novice, like first timer kind of scripted format. So that's, you know, there's some novelty to it, but it's not something that, you know, you're probably going to do with any regularity. Where do I need to go? Here's my... Hurry, Mario. Nice. So it is interesting that PAX has really become more of an indie and less AAA content delivery show, which, you know, in most senses I think is really cool. I've never gone to West, although that is on the docket this year, as we've talked about. One of our big goals to grow as a channel and as people is to attend PAX West for the very first time in our lives, which I think would be a ton of fun. So it's that's in the works. Stay tuned for more. So I don't know, back when I would, you know, first go, you know, I remember that one of the first things I did was PAX East 2015 was my first show, and Halo 5 Guardians had their multiplayer beta there, and I missed one. No, unacceptable. Maybe we'll go back. We want to keep pushing forward. I want to see content, baby. But Halo 5 was there, and it was one of the first things I did at PAX, and I still wear the lanyard. If you've seen, you know, it's always my Halo 5 lanyard. That's, you know, the lanyard I got at my first PAX from playing Halo 5. And that's really cool. The show's not really like that anymore. And you don't have those kinds of experiences in games on tap anymore. In a lot of ways, that's good, because that, you know, especially from a content creation perspective, helps us put the focus on smaller, you know, indie games and less publicized efforts. But at the same time, you know, you also don't get to experience those big titles like you used to. And that's kind of a bummer. PAX West is in Seattle for it, and that is, you know, it's quite the hike, but I think, you know, as far as the experience goes, it would be incredible to do. So we're working on it, And as the event gets closer, you know, we're going to do our normal applications and whatnot. So we'll see how it goes. The real goal for 2024, which we had talked about, was the trifecta of PAXs in the US, which is, you know, East, West, and Unplugged. No issue with East this year. We're yet to have an issue with Unplugged, knock on wood. You know, they are quite generous to content creators and media alike. Where do I want to go here? Yes. We are just toggling back and forth here. We are good. We are good. No worries. So that'll be really fun. Is the point I'm trying to make is we're trying to really keep revving up that convention machine for content. Frankly, I think one of the coolest things we do. And one of the more unique kind of angles, because you don't see, I think, a lot of traditional Let's Play streamers go to and make dedicated content live at the conference. Obviously, bigger names do, but not a lot of channels, I think, put a huge focus on it as, you know, kind of a marquee event for them, which I'm kind of proud of us that we do that. So, at any rate, I hope it's something you enjoy. I hope it's something that you find value in, because we're going to keep doing it. and continue to have fun with it and enjoy. How do I get up there? Surely there must be a way. Spring, of course. Of course. Oh. No. Oh. There she blows. Beautiful. Nicely done. I do enjoy the convention covers, not gonna lie. Good. Okay, that is encouraging. I hope to one day go to one too. It's always fun to walk around and discover new stuff. Frankly, that's how we found some of the coolest titles and games that we've seen, is just randomly walking around the convention floor, seeing what's good, dying actively in real time, and seeing things for ourselves, you know. So you're not supposed to hit the cannonballs. That's what I'm gathering. It was always great fun to do. Just explore, walk around the show floor, see what catches your eye, you know, what's interesting. And for as much as, you know, access to, you know, press mailing lists helps, and scheduling interviews and demos of things that look interesting ahead of time, sometimes you just can't beat finding something really cool on the show floor, discovering it for yourself, getting to know the creators and the publishers and the people behind it who are right there at the booth, and then talking to them spontaneously about what they've created. That's one of the joys of PAX and the convention circuit. It always has been. And that's something that we always look forward to every year. It's always a great experience and a fantastic way to find new titles that you like, discover games you end up loving, meeting great people, networking, and doing all sorts of fun stuff. It's just, you can't beat it. So we love it, and we try to do it as often as we can. Who else is playing Mario vs. DK? Because they're smart folks. To trying to accomplish here. Not quite what I was looking for. So I need to do what? not seeing this for some reason. Unless I do just need to break through. Oh boy. Oh, you know, I wonder if I can take the bomb through the box. Let's try this. On your feet thinking, Lou. Way to go. Cheat speak, big brain at it again, folks. Oh, man. This is what you pay for, right? You don't pay. This is free content. What are we doing? BRB, enjoy. Conventions do have the best pins, and Sari will tell you all about that. She's our resident kind of pin guru. I'm not much of a pin guy myself, but she certainly is. So we live vicariously through her in that regard. Oh. You got away from me. Come back. No. Oh, he was so young. Yeep. You just go eep. Regularly eep. In all assets or all facets and elements of my own life. It's an eepathon out here. What do you want from me? Kind of running out of time. That you can't see the time because it's behind my face. But trust that I'm doing well enough that you don't need to see the time. That's the whole intent here, folks. Yeep. Always yeeping. Everyone asks yeep, but no one asks jeep. I got nothing for you there. Woohoo! Yahoo! Etc. Want to do that? Let's pretend I did. And yes, I totally did. Absolutely on purpose. Don't worry about it. I'm just big brain energy over here. I don't know what to tell you. Just dusting myself off saying, hey, yo, how's it going? Thinking about it. Okay. We are rocketing through this. And having a good time, if I do say so myself. How many can I check how many worlds there are? No, because obviously there's added content now that we're seeing. What was this even called? Mario World? What is the world called?
Let's go, little guys.
I love that they reuse uncompressed voice clips of Markney from way back. Does my dumb little heart good. We must salvage all our little minis. Very important to do. Guide them through life as best we can, because it's important for their own survival as well as mine. That's a great butt shot. They are all so interested in it there. they just can't get enough, and who could blame them? That is Captain America levels of butt if I have anything to say about it. And I don't. But if I did, that's about the level we're on. And I mean, it makes sense though, because like the glutes you need to do that level of jump are just ridiculous. My guy's got to squat like hundreds and hundreds of pounds. Mario's work ethic out here, second to none. Never skips leg day. How do we get them over there? I know. Everybody up. That's him. That's not unfortunate anymore. Here we go. Everybody in. And not a moment too soon. Excellent. Full stack going into the boss fight. Merry Miniland is the name of the world. All this crazy new stuff. You can't be throwing new things at me. My caveman brain can't handle it. Well, we got a ton of mileage out of these flower mechanics, didn't we? Oh no! You don't get hurt if you're holding something. That's the sailor's way. There you go. Cue them up for him. He's just feeding his own demise, as our brilliant monkey friend tends to do. Blue is not gonna do it. Can throw them as long as they're the same color out, right? That works too. See, multiple ways to hit the boss. We're just being creative. Just using our big brain energy over here. God, you monkey. You monkey man. Get out of here. Revenge is a dish best served in trash cans, as the kids say. Of course the kids say that. Right, kids? I can show you my gray hair to prove how in tune with the kids I am. Oh yeah! I want to know what this game is running on, because the HUD and the UI and everything feel very like 3D World. Spooky house. Was World 4 is now World 5. What other mysteries await us here? I like how he's just chasing him through this entire country. Just yelling, stop, come back. Every so often thinking he's gonna stop and come back, you know. At some point, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. You'd think Mario would learn at some point. Persistence is key, huh? Alright, well, the battery is officially depleted here, so let's get just enough juice out of it to pause the game, which I'm not going to get, so we got to figure out... Okay. We're going to take a moment here, and I'm going to find a cable to charge this with so we can play it. So give me like a minute, I can get some drinking and calm myself. Not that I'm needing any calming, I'm perfectly fine as is, but something to keep myself hydrated. We'll be back in just a minute. You're watching Hypocritic GG, streaming on Twitch and YouTube. I'm Lou Cheesepeak, and we are finally taking my long-awaited first look at Mario vs. Donkey Kong on the Nintendo Switch. We've got more platforming puzzle action for you in just a little bit, so stay right here, don't go anywhere, and we'll be right back with you. Controller in hand, charged, ready to go, drink within arm's reach. What more could you ask for on this fine Tuesday night? Wednesday morning? Depending where you're looking at us with your eyeballs, you are watching Hypocritic GG. Streaming exclusively on Twitch and YouTube. I'm Lou, I'm Cheat Speaking. We are back with more Mario vs. Donkey Kong. Right back into it. Tearing through this remake of the beloved 2004 GBA classical. Giving Mario a clear path forward as we're wanted to do. But boom, and this is a real spooky house, if I do say so. Wow. Sounds like the same Twomp voices as well, which is super nice. Again, just kind of scratches that nostalgia itch a little bit. It's like, oh yeah, you did sound like that. Sound and audio in general is just such a critical part of a remake or a remaster, you know? That's why we talk about things like the music here, where that can make so much of a difference in how you perceive and remember a game. You know, when we were complaining about Sonic Colors Ultimate back in the day, months and months ago when it came out, one of the biggest changes they made was the completely revamped soundtrack that totally changed the vibe and the feel of so many of those levels and worlds. You combine that with appreciable graphical changes, and it really doesn't feel like the same game at that point. So you call it an ultimate version or a remaster, and it kind of almost feels more like a remake, where it's just not the same experience. Now this, I think, is a full-on remake, so you wouldn't necessarily expect that jazzy, like, sax is just excellent. That's what your boy needed to do. And that's what your boy needed to do. And so, you know, there's obviously an expectation that this is going to not feel the exact same as the old game did, because it's obviously so drastically different from a presentation perspective. But the gameplay's really intact, and yeah, it's going to be different, but it's also not promising a one-to-one just port the GBA game over, right? And I think that's okay. And so far, this is certainly living up to my own hopes and expectations for it. This is a great time. So, like I've been saying, if this is something that appeals to you, if you have fond memories of the original release in 2004 like I do, if you enjoy puzzlers like this in general, or, you know, the Mario vs. Donkey Kong series, which has a long history of mediocre to great puzzle gameplay, this is right up your alley. I do think the later ones where it gets so mini Mario focused they do kind of I got distracted here. This was a favorite track of mine from the original game. Just kind of hearing what they did to it. Oof. You know, I can appreciate the different vibe, but I don't love it. You know, This is one of those instances where I'm just gonna go back and listen to the old soundtrack if I really want that feel back. But that's okay. Again, the expectation is not that it's gonna be the exact same here, so I can live. And some of those flourishes are pretty cool. So it's worth checking out, is my point. The mini Mario series in general kind of went on a very different path after that first release where it got entirely kind of mini Mario focused. I remember stuff like Tipping Stars or Minis on the Move or even Mario vs. Donkey Kong 2. It all just started to feel very different from that first release. I think a lot of the spin-off games in the Mario franchise kind of go that way at some point where it starts to drift a little bit from what's beloved about it. Paper Mario, I think, is a good example, where those first two ones are just so beloved, Thousand Year Door in general, and that's, you know, why it's getting a full-on remake, right? Then you get Super Paper Mario, which I think is looked at more favorably now than it was at the time. You get into something like Sticker Star and Color Splash, and even Origami King, and it's just very far away from those RPG roots that drew people in the first place. And I think to a lesser degree you kind of saw that with the Mario vs. Donkey Kong series. It's not as dramatic a shift where, you know, it's still all very puzzle-based, and the gameplay's intact in that sense. But they don't play like this, is my point. And some people don't care and vibe with the series anyway. And some people do care and wanted something like this back. So to have a new entry, I mean, I say new, and I probably put that in quotes, but to have it playable in a modern format is great. And it's really, really, really good. You know, I'm having a great time with this. I'm definitely going to dig into it more off camera because I don't think we're going to play through any more of it on stream here, but after, you know, the next half hour or so concludes. But see, I'm gonna break this a little bit, see what I can do. We're actually gonna do phenomenally well. Okay. Let's take a look-see. I'm just gonna go through here quick. Mario vs. Donkey Kong series. Spin-off and crossover. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, technically 7, 8 total, including this remake and Mini Mario and Friends Amiibo Challenge, which frankly I didn't even know existed. So let's talk about that real briefly. Do I have a screen that I can show you? I will attempt to show you this. Boom. Kind of. Doesn't really work, does it? I tried. I'm not going to try to screw around with that too much, and you want the game back. So let's just talk about this for a second. There are a few of them. There's obviously the original Mario vs. Donkey Kong in 2006. There was March of the Minis on the DS, which I also had very fond memories of. The sequel, Minis March Again, was launched for the Nintendo DSi in 2009, so I don't even know how you find that now, because if that was a digital exclusive... Or was it? It was DSiWare, so yeah, maybe it was. The next one in 2010 was Mario vs. Donkey Kong Mini Land Mayhem, which was a full-on release for the DS. The sequel was Mario vs. Donkey Kong Minis on the Move for 3DS. And then Tipping Stars in 2015, which came out for both the Wii U and the 3DS, as a lot of those games did at the time. Spiritual successor was Mini Mario and Friends Amiibo Challenge. Reasonably positive reviews throughout, but a lot of them criticized for kind of lack of originality, where you could sort of see the series settling into a rut, seemingly. And so we end up bringing it back to its roots, with no full-fledged release since
Here we go.
that Amiibo Challenge title in 2016. So Mario vs. Donkey Kong has not seen significant action in 8 years. So it's nice to have it back, is what's happening. And this plays great. This is incredibly precise. It's incredibly satisfying. Oh, it do be like that sometimes. I don't know what you want from me. Show that butt. Gluteus Maximus. Absolutely. America's ass. It's not Captain America. It's Mario. Don't you dare think otherwise. Am I gonna get back to the key in time? I'm not. Okay, wow. So I gotta be a little snappier about that, don't I? I gotta bring the key with me when I do that. Why would I just really want to go through that loop again. That's the intent there. I wonder if that's going to kind of lessen the difficulty curve, too, now that I'm thinking about it. You know, we had that extra world brought along. So I gotta... Now we're gonna run a little low on time here, but that's okay. I remember the original game getting quite hard because it had the entire second half of it, where you went through all of the worlds again with a lot more difficulty involved. I'm hoping this does the same thing. I don't actually know for certain whether it does. It would be... there we go. It would be more of a buzzkill than Buzz Killington if it did not. Wow. So we're gonna need yellow here, right? So that's probably something we'll have to figure out on the way. Maybe we'll report back on Saturday when we get into some Halo time. We'll reiterate the schedule again once more for the people in the back. None of that really worked. Walkie walkie. You know what I need to do? Yeah, I gotcha. I'll guide him over there. Yep, okay. We're good. We are Smirt SMRT. Baby. Bam. Look at that. Brilliant. Can't put nothing past me, baby. Indestructible knowledge. I went to college! College! That's what a college education gets you. Apparently, solve basic puzzles in a all-ages video game.
Oh, yeah.
Let me add this one. Okay, coming up on the end of World 5 here. Used to be World 4. Is now World 4. There's Mystic Forest and Twilight City. Loved the back half of this game, world-wise. Love how he jumped right into harm's way and immediately just scoots. He's like, that's not... This is his glute workout. There you go. Now I figured it out. Now I know where he gets it from. You just... The player crouching all the time, you know you would do this. You would stand around and you would bop them up and down in time with the music. That's why they all have amazing legs and developed quads and they're America's butts. It's you. You were the butt the whole time.
Yup. Woohoo. Yup. Woohoo. Yahoo.
Need the red. No.
Yup. Woohoo. Woohoo. Woohoo.
We have to get a little creative here.
Woohoo. Yahoo. Woo. Wah. Woo. Yup. Woohoo.
There we go. I forget where I need to be at this point. I'm gonna run out of time here. We gotta be careful.
Yup. Woohoo. Yahoo.
Where's the key? I think we screwed around for too long. Oh, we're not gonna make it. No, we're not gonna make it. We're gonna retry, and that's okay. Here we go.
Yup. Woohoo. Yahoo. Yup. Woohoo. Yahoo.
All these amazing acrobatics. I gotta do the red switch anyway. I keep forgetting. You gotta go in on that.
Woohoo. Yup. Woohoo.
It's a little easier on ourselves. Get his glute workout in here, and that's the key. That's how platforming mascots get such like developed legs and can do all this crazy stuff. Glutes of steel. You know you've done this. You just bop them up and down in time with the music. Crouch, 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 crouch. You've been there. And that's why they're all amazingly athletic and they can do all this incredible stuff. It's you. This is your fault. How do you feel? Unbelievable.
Yup. Woohoo.
Now I need yellow. It's all gonna come together, folks. I promise. Except I need blue now. Why can I not get this order right? Okay. I think we're gonna mess this up again. Less. Nope. We gotta retry it one more time. That's okay. So first things first, we're going straight for that present. You don't lose a life when you retry, so you can, if you're gonna time over, you can just restart the stage as many times as you want and not worry about it. I love how satisfied he is with his backflip. Or his fall flip, or whatever flip-a-do he's doing. He's flipping that do big time. Tell me I screwed this up again. No, I can get on it here. Ugh. There we go. Innovation gets us a little too proud of myself there. Hubris, kids. Here we go. Conquered. Conquered at last. Whoa. Push the butt. Except don't, because I needed this to be blue and I didn't pay attention. Push me back. That's also part of the workout routine, in case you're interested. Find a robot shield boy to push you around for maximum glute tension. It's proven effective. There's science behind it. You can't doubt the science. Well, that's one trust fall that just didn't pay off, huh? Why it's so hard to trust nowadays? Right on the noggin, right in the skull. You ever get shoved around like that? That'll get no. There we go. Okay. Sharpen up here, folks. Come on, what are you doing? Think it through. Ow. Let him jump off the ladder. Wah! I like the different sound effects for each ladder type that he climbs to. That's nice attention to detail. What? The wooden ladders make a different sound than the metal ladders, and it's nice detail. I mean, with a game kind of this focused in scope, you would maybe expect that sort of attention to detail. I didn't hit the speaking of attention to detail, I'm getting a little sleepy here, I think. We're not paying attention. Okay. Bro's just hanging out. That'll do it. Close, but that'll do it. Okay. Now we are good to go. You ever pick something up and poof, entire beings out of existence in front of you? That is horrifying. What is that little pushy guy thinking as Mario picks the thing up and then he's gone? What does his family do? Do we notify anybody? It's a terrible thing to consider. Grim game. Wherever he is, I hope he's okay.
Let's go, little guys.
Rawr. Rawr. No. Oh. How'd that happen? The little guys. What happened to the little guys? Well, one of them didn't make it through, and that is a sad state of affairs. So we now need to... I gotta get this guy all the way down there. No, the minis are in the way. No, minis, get out of here. Minis! There we go. Now we bring them over. Down you go. How do I get them up here, though? Oh, God. I'm really bumping up against time here, aren't I? Well, we gotta think that one through again. Let's see. Thump. All the way through, little ones. Avoid massacre at all costs. Alrighty. So what am I missing here? To get them to safety. Box is open. Let's get them there. Can't pick them up and throw them, can I? What's it gonna take? Oh, your boy's missing something here. Let's see. I'm working on it. Oh! It doesn't crush all of them, does it? I hope not. Didn't seem like it. Try this one more time. Everyone to safety. Get all the letters. Can they stand on the twomps? Maybe they stand on the twomps? It would take a long time to get everybody there, though. I'm trying to think. I'm stumped on this one. They got me toward the end here. Okay. Trying to suss this out. Well, they can just jump over the gap? Okay. Well, all that kind of... Could they do that in the old one? That I don't know why I didn't think of that, but I feel like they couldn't do that. That's my that was my hang up there.
Oh, yeah.
But hey, what do I know? Okay, folks, we're gonna beat up on Donkey Kong here, and then we're gonna call it a night, I think. Lovely little fight we got here with our Shy Guy friends. Some of them mostly ghostly, some of them solid, and they will solidify. Oh no! Oh no! Just like that, baby. They do stay solid for long enough for me to throw them. Easy peasy, baby. Let's go. Silly DK. Tricks are for kids and adults who just want something sweet and tooth rotting every now and again. I don't judge. We can make our own decisions over here. Cereal for dinner, cereal for, I don't know, late night. Mind your business. Okay. Okay. Slippery Summit, also new. So I guess that's our answer. Mystic Forest and Twilight City will be 7 and 8. So we've got 2 all new worlds here. That's fun. And if they did the New Game Plus thing at the end with the harder versions of all these levels, this is going to be amazing and well worth it. But that will have to be an adventure for another time, because we are going to call it there, I think. A lot of cutscenes, which implies that we are doing New Game Plus, which would be great. I didn't want to do that, but here we are. So lovingly recreated, though, which is great. There's a full sound test. Something nice to play us off. Picking something at random, but here we are, folks. Thanks for tuning in. A quick recap for those of you who are maybe just joining in or weren't aware. If you get on our Discord, !Discord, you will get access to all the most up-to-date information on when we're going live and with what. To tease you a little bit here, we got a doubleheader for you this week, where this Saturday we are playing Halo Infinite. It's multiplayer night at a time to be determined, so it's a multiplayer and firefight all in one night. The drinks are gonna be flowing. We're gonna be having a great time. Don't even worry about it. It's gonna be fantastic. So get your PCs or your Xboxes going. Make sure that you're ready for it if that's what you're into. We'll be playing that for you. And then a week today, we are going to be continuing our Wii U farewell tour, and our next stop is 1 week today. We're on our farewell tour where we give every other week, every other Tuesday, we give a particular game on Wii U that had multiplayer or online components or content. One last look and one last bit of love before all those services go away in April. And this time around, it is Call of Duty Black Ops 2 that we are remembering. One of the few full-fledged Call of Duty experiences on a Nintendo platform, and one of the few, maybe like the second to last full one that a Nintendo console has ever seen. I think Call of Duty Ghosts was the last one on Wii U. But we're playing Black Ops 2, a great throwback to a much simpler time in the life of a first-person shooter. So a little bit different, you know, when we do Nintendo stuff, it's not normally something like Call of Duty, but we're going to give it a go just to do it. So check it out. That is Tuesday, March 5th, a week today at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Check your local listings for times in your zone. Do the conversions. Don't make me do it for you. And that'll be fun. So again, Halo Infinite on Saturday night at a time to be determined. And 1 week from today, remembering Call of Duty Black Ops 2, the next stop on our Wii U farewell tour. Every other Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern, and that's going to do it for us. Thank you so much for tuning in. This has been Hypocritic GG, streaming exclusively on Twitch and YouTube, taking a look, finally, at the Mario vs. Donkey Kong remake for Nintendo Switch. It's a fantastic time. It preserves pretty much everything about the core gameplay that you loved from the Game Boy Advance game, modernizes it with gorgeous-looking graphics and cutscenes, and a lot of new content along for the ride as well, which fits right in alongside the stages you know and love. Probably my only major complaint is the new orchestrated soundtrack, not really capturing the energy or the feel of the original music, but with it not really being a one-to-one kind of remake of the game anyway, and it looking so different stylistically and presentation-wise, I think that's okay. I'll allow it. Now it just sounds like The Sims. So no complaints here. But this is really cool. So, again, I recommend you give it a look if you enjoy this franchise at all. If you like the Mario vs. Donkey Kong spin-off series, this is very true to it, and it's super encouraging. Pick up the demo on your own Switch if you want. It's absolutely free, and you get like 4 or 5 levels so you can figure out if it really is for you. And it's a little bit less than they would normally retail for. It's only $50 at retail, which all things considered I think is a pretty good deal for 2 new worlds to bring it up to 8 worlds at first brush, and then assumedly the hard version of everything as you keep going. If there's no hard version, then maybe we'll be singing a different tune next week, but we'll let you know. At any rate, that's going to do it for us. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm Lou, I'm Cheatspeak. This has been Hypocritic GG, streaming on Twitch and YouTube. We'll see you back here on Saturday for Halo Infinite. Make sure you're subscribed or following us to get notifications on when we're live. You can join up the Discord, you can see the Facebook, you can go anywhere you want for these updates, basically, and they will find their way to you. So we'll see you then. Stay fresh, cheese bags. Take care.